Hello, this is Ryan, and this is the first look at Warhammer 40K Kill Team for the Xbox Live Arcade, a fast-paced twin-stick shooter developed by THQ Digital Studios and published by THQ. Playing as an elite space marine, you are sent on a vital mission to assault a gigantic orc cruiser heading for the Imperial Forge world. Battling and killing many brutal orcs and vicious tyrants on your way, you'll use your trusted melee, firearm and special attacks to defeat your foes. It's a pretty simple game, but Warhammer 40K Kill Team has a lot of merit and fun inside. You navigate the levels by killing enemies with your gun and melee attacks, which can be used using the right analog stick and A button respectively. Your special ability can be used also through the enemies using the left bumper. This allows you to unleash a devastating attack on your foes and varies with the elite space marine you decide to choose. But in this case, with the footage being shown right now, it's a minigun attack. The game is really direct, with each section clearly highlighting where to go and what to do. The camera will either swoop to your next objective or have certain objects glowing that you can interact with such as machinery that has to be destroyed or switches that have to be pressed in order to advance. The camera swoops, however, you might be treated to an announcer, most likely a commander, who delivers a very clear set of guidelines on what to do with a voice that suits the mood and atmosphere of the game. As you journey through the level, however, you can collect power-ups and collectibles which keep the action nice and interesting and give you more incentive to keep playing. These can include extra damage, speed and so on. There are also upgrade stations in the middle of the level where you can apply abilities for your character specifically for extra enhancement. You can also issue what type of gun or melee weapon you'd like to choose in these upgrade stations as well. But whilst upgrading and collecting abilities keeps the game fresh, you'll most likely be doing the same thing, going through each section killing as many enemies as you can before reaching a door or a vault to continue. If you kill enough enemies, however, a ring will glow around you, and this is where you can press the left bumper and activate your devastating special ability. This is really cool to look at and use, and makes you feel like a total badass, and makes ways of orcs not much of a hassle, but that's not to say this game isn't difficult. The game can be little difficult at times, as if you don't use your special ability or pick up power-ups in the level, you might find yourself surrounded by enemies that just keep coming and coming. So you have to think when to use your normal attacks and when to activate your special ability. It sounds great too. Hearing your minigun tear through all limbs is fantastic, and hearing their battle cries as they come towards you is pretty humorous, because you know they're only meeting their doom. The sound effects of picking up power-ups and melee attacks are nothing really out of the norm, but when you get the orcs shouting and screaming before their doom, you really won't care. The music in this game is pretty good too, just like the announcer. It's very fitting to the mood and atmosphere of the game, boasting for a pretty good soundtrack. The game also looks graphically good too, with some nice little lighting and particle effects. As you walk or even run around the level, you'll see bubbles pop out of toxic waste, lights flickering under the metal walkways below you, and all this adds to a unique, moody, but quite colourful experience with a rather rich art style that suits the mood of the Warhammer franchise. However, whilst playing Warhammer 40K Kill Team is good, if not a great game, it does have some problems. Little things such as camera issues and small corridors don't help with certain battles. The game mostly centres in rather large open areas, and when it does it, it's great. But when you get into the more narrow walkways, the camera just doesn't lend itself well, positioning itself at really odd angles. Along with this, some of the movement can feel a little janky, especially when running. You run holding the left trigger, but it doesn't seem that responsive at times. You seem to run for a second or two and stop to a halt. It's understandable you're an elite space marine with lots of heavy armor, but this is a game. It's not intended to be realistic, and having your marine able to run longer would be nice. There's probably ability or an option that allows you to sprint for longer distances in the full game, but in the trial this is non-existent, as well as a sprint meter, which would be very helpful. The trial ends abruptly too, showing you a small cutscene as some new foes approach, but it's a pain that you have to start the trial all over again instead of sending you to the main menu. It's 840 megabytes to download, and that's quite a lot for a trial that lasts only up to 8 or so minutes. But thankfully there are 2 different characters to try out with 2 different sets of weapons and local 2-player co-op support. It would be nice to have the option to play the game 2-player cooperatively on the trial to see what it's like online, but it's not even in the full game, which sucks. But playing 2-player is still a blast locally, and the camera seems to work better in this mode. It's simple to drop in, just turn a controller or plug a controller in, hit start, and you're in some chaotic Warhammer 40K Kill Team action. Overall, Warhammer 40K Kill Team is a great game. It's got a few issues such as the camera, some lackluster sound effects and some really weird design issues, but the presentation, art style, unique choice of power-ups, and of course the Orcs battle cries will pursue and persuade you otherwise. And if that doesn't help, then you can bring a friend along to try it for a more fun experience. Warhammer 40K Kill Team is out now on the Xbox Live Arcade for 800 Microsoft points. Give it a go, and the more you play, the more you begin to realise how good this game really is.